Welcome to another interesting Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy. I have great topics for you later. Reserved presidential elections necessary for harmony, DPM Teo. I like DPM Teo, you know. We do not need so many people to jump in to justify what has happened. As I said, people like the idea that the president comes from different races, everybody's given a chance, but people don't like to be fooled. So basically, people cannot stand policies that are made to support the political agenda. Stop explaining to us. We must not open Pandora's box. To race, because religion will follow, and definitely gender will follow, and then disability will follow, etc., etc., etc. We know what you are doing, and we do not like it. You know, in life, when you're faced with a problem, people always think, how do you solve it? But actually, go to the source of problems. For example, trailer breakdown causes morning traffic chaos. In the first place, why allow this monster to be on the road in the morning? In fact, why do we allow so many heavy trucks in the morning when people are racing to school, racing to work? And the trucks are also racing next to you. Go and look at the expressway. So the traffic police should just get good people onto the roads to see what's happening and make all these trucks travel after the peak hours. Now, to the darling wild boars who are visiting my farm like almost every day now, where we don't kill them, but if they go onto the roads, they're being killed. Go to the source again. Find out, why are the boars suddenly appearing? We are doing indiscriminate land clearing without worrying about what was living in there first. We are just bulldozing trees down, bulldozing grassland down, and not caring about what's there. The AVA wants to put up signs to alert motorists about animals. You know, they are stupid. By the time you see the animal, it's too late. Maybe the AVA, in their wisdom, can train the boss to read and tell them not to cross the road. So please look at what created the problems in the first place. Thumbprint scanning at Tuas. You know, they can invent any kind of system, but the point is 350,000 people cross from Johor to Singapore every day at a certain period of time. Why? They do it because they have to come here to work, right? Some do it because they have to come here to attend school. You know, these people are not traveling from there to here for fun. The fun part of it is very few. So, what was the problem? You know, you can invent the best screening system, but the sheer volume of 350,000 people crossing over from Johor to Singapore every day is a humongous problem. You need to have several checkpoints so that the volume is distributed. For example, a couple of bridges, a couple of train crossings, a couple of ferry crossings, even a crossing when people can walk over because it's only 1 kilometer between Johor and us. But what have we done over the past years? Nobody improved the infrastructure. When the British left us, they left us the same train service. They left us the same causeway, which has never ever been improved. That is the fundamental problem. We don't need a fast train to go to Kuala Lumpur to eat durians. Lately, I've been reading about all these youthful hawkers in Yishun, in timber, etc., etc. And I think it's brilliant because the first wave that happened in the food scene in Singapore was the formation of hawker centres. And I think it's a very nice idea for people to come to a place they can taste all the different food and most important at reasonable prices. Then now you can see that the younger people are going into this industry, but they are struggling because rentals are high. So government should do what was done before to help the old hawkers. They gave them a reasonable rental for their business at the hawker centres. So they will be the next entrepreneurs who will set up chains of beautiful, good food, young food, new kind of cooking, new kind of passion, and they love doing their job. And then they can go global. You see, if you look at what Inderjit Singh says, Inderjit Singh said that government must help the SMEs, and he's absolutely right. Singapore aging at faster pace than a decade ago. Whose problem? Who started it? Some fella said we should stop at 2, because they wanted to control the population. They've done it so well, that's why we're the fastest aging country in the world. But don't worry, we can always bring younger people in to help shore up our population. I don't know why there's this big work to be done for cycling in Tampines, It's as if though Tampines is the only cycling town. Look, this network should be extended to the whole of Singapore. In fact, many times I have suggested that you should make the railway track, the one that the Malaysian train goes up and down and is abandoned now, that should be the main cycling track into the city with more tracks joined to it. And the old train station should be made into a master cycling center with showers, with hanging up your bikes, etc. And a shuttle bus that brings people into the city free of charge. We should be a totally cyclable city because of our size. We are so small. Forget any other transportation system. A coffee break would be good. This team at Happy TV makes me work too hard. I'm sure many of you have read Han Fook Kwang's article about the politics of dominance, and that he's suggesting we must not take it to the limit. People should seriously read that, especially our political leaders should read what Han Fook Kwang dares to write in the Straits Times. He said, when leaders lose touch with the ground and ordinary people's concerns, that is exactly what has happened in our country. People have reached a stage where they give up, they are not thinking anymore, and so you have a totally useless society who are just struggling around to make things work for them to support their family with great difficulty. And what is the answer? It won't be a terrorist attack. It will be a revolution from within your own country. Don't let that happen. Don't wait for that to happen. I am speaking from the ground. The young in Singapore are no longer the complacent people of before, right? My generation was a generation of thinking people. Then we have a big gap of people under 50 who are unthinking, who just thinking of how much the government can give to them and how wonderful their life is going to be. But you have a big young chunk of people who are finding life challenging, hard to get along, hard to make a living, and this young group is the group that's going to create problems if we are not careful. Thank you for watching my show, and please continue sending in your comments. Also, if you can afford it, please subscribe so that the crew at Happy TV can be paid, because I don't pay them.